What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like, subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on a recent episode of Nightcap with Shannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco, and Joe Johnson, right? And the topic of discussion was like the biggest miss, right, in the draft. And for me, the biggest miss in an NBA draft, like a player who should have gotten drafted ahead of other players. To me, the biggest miss was obviously, I think, is Michael Jordan. When when Sam Bowie went ahead of Michael Jordan, I thought that was like the biggest mistake that the Portland Trailblazers made, picking Sam Bowie ahead of Michael Jordan. And some people say, well, they already had Clyde Drexler, right? And I just think that like my approach is like you draft the best player in the draft. And who was a guy named Bobby Knight said that the Portland Trailblazers drafted, they picked Sam Bowie because Sam was a center. And Bobby Knight was like, I don't care. You draft Mike and you put him at center, right? That's just how big Bobby Knight was on Michael Jordan. And I agree, man. Like if you draft Michael Jordan and you already have Clyde Drexler, you just gotta find a way to make that work. Because as everybody know, history says that Sam Bowie didn't really, it didn't work out. For the most, Sam Bowie really couldn't stay healthy. Right. So I think a lot of people learn from that. You just draft, in my opinion, I think you just draft the best player in the draft. Um, who was another? Like, what's the guy? I think his name is Darko, the guy who went ahead of Carmelo Anthony. Right. I thought that was a big mistake. Who else was Greg Oden? I think Greg Oden went ahead of Kevin Garnett. Like, even when I was watching Greg Oden, it just, to me, I wasn't impressed. He was a big guy, but he didn't seem like he was going to be a dominant player in the NBA. And so I was really surprised when who drafted Greg. I don't even recall who drafted him. I just know that he went ahead of Kevin Durant. He went ahead of Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant wound up going to Seattle, right? And so, like I said, they was having this discussion on Nightcap, and let me play like some of the people that they said was a big miss, and then I'm gonna come back and give some more of my input.
Hey guys, it's your favorite Unk here. Go ahead and click that subscribe button below so you don't miss a single. What's the biggest NBA draft whiff of all time?
Draft whiff. I mean, I would say Jordan, but hell, King went one. He got.
Hey, back then, you wasn't taking no little over no big.
Nah. I don't know. You got something in mind?
Wait a minute, and then somebody in the chat also said that the Timberwolves chose Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn back-to-back selections and passed on Curry. Again, I wasn't big on I don't remember Johnny Flynn, but I wasn't big on Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio was playing he came from overseas, from Europe somewhere. But yeah, I wasn't big on Ricky Rubio either.
Whoever passed on Dame, whoever passed on Steph.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. You know what? I don't know what it is. When them guys dominating college like that, they don't think it's gonna translate. Cause some it don't, okay, Ocho, but
yeah,
I just felt like it was kind of destined for Steph.
He can shoot
for
it.
whatever reason.
See, a lot of people said that about Trey Young. I said, let's just say for the sake of argument, he don't give you 27. Do you see how he passed? He was averaging double-digit assists. So let's just say that comes all the way down to say somewhere between 17 and 22. He's still giving you double-digit assists.
I agree.
I said he can shoot.
I agree.
When you can shoot the ball with that kind of range and handle it and get others involved.
That's why you make the big bucks.
Yeah. Oh, Portland, they passed on. They took a Greg Oden.
Oh, no.
KD.
Yeah. Ooh.
Portland.
But Greg Oden was a beast.
He was.
In college, he was
nice.
KD was special, but Greg Oden, I could see how that could, you'll probably think about that one too. Don't.
No, I disagree, man. Like when Kevin Durant was at Texas, that season he had at Texas, to me was better what Greg Oden did at Ohio State. I would have definitely took Kevin Durant.
Think about what KD's done in the pros, but in college he was special. But Greg Oden was special too. But
I remember watching Greg Oden at Ohio State. He was nice.
They took Sam Bowie over Jordan at Portland, but they said because they had
Clyde.
If I'm not mistaken, they already had Clyde. I think they had
they already had Clyde. Yep. But here we had to make that work. You couldn't make that work.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Clyde and Mike, man. Put one on one wing and the other on the other wing, man. Yeah, you make that work, Clyde and Mike. Or you put one at Mike could run the point. I know you don't want Mike at the point, but he was able to do the point. I wouldn't have had Mike at the point, but you would have had to make that work.
So,
damn. I don't know, man.
I mean, Luka with what? Where did Luka go? DeAndre Ayton,
the Hawks draft.
Trey Young was in that draft. Luka was in that draft.
Yeah, the Hawks drafted Luka and then traded him for Trey. Did y'all know that?
What?
The
Hawks drafted Luka.
How do you think that would have been?
You never know, bro.
Atlanta love Trey, man. They love Ice Trey.
Man, what? This will always be home for him.
Boosie, Chains, Quavo,
you name it.
They love Trey.
All right, and so let me see what else they say in the chat. Drafting Ball over Tatum, right? The Lakers took Ball over Tatum, and look at this now. Like, look at what Tatum has done in the league, and the Ball guy, he couldn't really stay healthy. Then you have the Cavs passing on Giannis and for Anthony Bennett. Look at where, look at how Giannis is now, right? Let me see who else they got. Greg Oden was drafted before Durant. Yeah, that's true. Let me see what else.
Yeah. Trey done a lot for the city out here, bro.
Sacramento just stay effing up. They passed on Luka. They passed on Steph. They passed on Clay.
They gonna get it right. They gonna get them something special this year though. All they need is a top 5 pick. They get a top 5 pick, Uncle Ocho.
Yeah,
they gonna get them. They gonna get them.
They
really
back
top
in
7. Huh?
They back in business.
They gonna have a guy who they can kind of start building around for sure.
Yeah.
The Hornets traded Kobe for Bloody D-Box.
Yeah, like Kobe, what he went like 11, 12, something like that in that draft. 14? It may have been.
And let me see. Also, the Joker was drafted in the 2nd round. So I assume people wouldn't think he'd be a 3-time MVP. Yeah, that's true. And a league MVP by the age of 30. Yeah, so everybody passed up on the Joker at least once.
But them high schoolers, you couldn't see that back then.
The legendary Wilt Chamberlain owns one less NBA record thanks to Shai Gilgeous. SGA broke Wilt record for the 6 decades by scoring at least 20 points in 127 consecutive games. SGA's streak started November 1st of 2024. He's averaging 32.5 during that game, during that streak.
All right, let me see. And here we got Michael Olowokandi was drafted #1 overall in the 98 draft, the same draft class as Dirk and Paul Pierce, right? And Michael Olowokandi had a decent career, but you could not like what Dirk and Paul Pierce had. So, drafting is not a it's not an exact science, and so you get things wrong. That's why, in my opinion, I just would draft the most talented player, because you could be passing on somebody that's that's a diamond in the rough. If you draft because of height, you can get certain positions or certain times. You could just get any position. You could fill those positions later in the draft, right? Let me see. Unfortunately, happened with Tyler Hansbrough. He was elite in college. Yeah, I don't know who. I remember Tyler Hansbrough in North Carolina, but I don't know what round or where he went at. So, yeah, man, y'all let me know who you think. What was the biggest miss in the NBA draft? Like for me, like I said, it's Michael Jordan, Sam Bowie. I also, like I said, with the Kevin Durant, Greg Oden, I thought that was, to me, it just looked obvious that Kevin Durant was a better player at Texas than Greg Oden was at Ohio State. So, but that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'm going to check you all out in the next video. Peace.